Hello, my dear friends. We got an exciting interview today with Dr. Erin Foley, who is a functional medicine practitioner and chiropractor here in the Denver area. Uh, the reason I wanted to interview Dr. Foley is because she helps women with hormonal issues naturally. So we'll be talking about those kind of things. Um, I'm not going to go into much more detail about that. I'll let her tell her story. So let's welcome Dr. Foley. Hello.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Okay. This is going to be fun because I know so many women are concerned that they may have issues with their hormones being out of balance. So could you take a moment and tell us a little bit about how you got started in functional medicine through your practice and, whatever you want to tell us about your passions?
Well, yeah, so I became a licensed chiropractor 34 years ago in Los Angeles, and I had fallen in love with natural health, nutrition, and herbs. And I moved to Colorado in 25 years ago, and I became nationally board certified in acupuncture. So I did acupuncture for 20 years. My quest was always to find more tools to help my patients, and acupuncture opened that up. And then in 2003, I had my own health issue. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and I hadn't really, I always defaulted to nutrition and natural methods, and I had to go navigate the world of natural medicine to find out how to get myself back on track. So that's how I got involved in functional medicine. And so I was able to successfully, help my Hashimoto's be fine with that and heal adrenal fatigue. And I became certified in functional medicine in 2014.
All right. That's been an interesting journey. I had forgotten that you did acupuncture. Dr. Foley, could you just tell our audience a little bit about what your approach is to helping women who have hormonal issues?
Well, when we say the word hormones, most women will think hot flashes and PMS, but you have other hormones. So I look at all the hormones. You have your blood sugar hormones, you have your stress hormones, which are your adrenal hormones, and you have your thyroid hormones. So this is it. And then you have your female hormones. So there's certain hormones, like your stress hormones, can affect your female hormones. So you need to have all of these balanced. So that's, what my approach is to look at all the hormones.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. I made a post a few days ago about all the different hormones that we have in our body and how interconnected they are. So why are having balanced hormones so very important to women's overall health?
So I want to say I saw what you posted, and those were great graphics on all the hormones. And you can see it looks pretty complicated. But whether you're 30 or you're 70, you have hormones. So whether you are postmenopausal, maybe you're 65 and postmenopausal, you still have blood sugar hormones. That influences so many things in your body. That can influence your energy, your sleep, your weight. And your stress hormones, your adrenal hormones, again, can influence your energy, your sleep, your weight, and the thyroid as well. So it's something that it doesn't matter what age you are. It's not just about like menopause and perimenopause.
I know when people use that word hormone, they immediately go to the sex hormones. Okay, they forget that there's so many hormones that, or else they act as a hormone in the body. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to just guess. So what kind of approach do you do with testing, laboratory testing, to identify what the problems are, where the problems are?
This is one of the best things about functional medicine is that we test, we don't guess. And so I do full blood testing, and that you can customize that to whatever the history intake, whatever is the issue, you can add on different tests. But I generally always test blood sugar, many different markers for blood sugar, many thyroid tests, inflammation, cholesterol, And I do saliva testing for cortisol levels, and that can tell us what your how your stress hormones are doing. And I can do stool testing for gut issues. Allergy testing is important, and also like even heavy metal testing. So we at our fingertips have so many tests that we can customize, and we're not going to go out there and do a million tests, but I usually always do full blood testing, saliva testing, and then maybe I'll test the sex hormones, or maybe we're going to do allergy testing or stool testing or something like that, depending on, what the complaints are.
Yeah. Now, we talked a bit about premenopausal women who are still having a monthly cycle. What is the best test for them for their sex hormones? Best kind of test, I should say.
Yeah, so you've got blood testing, but when a woman is still having a period, I will do a saliva test that is a 30-day full cycle, and you collect the saliva on 11 different days during the month. So we can see, because when you're cycling, your progesterone goes on a curve and it goes down, and the estrogen does another curve and goes down, and you want to see where they're peaking. And so we can see exactly where they peak. And what we're looking for there is there too much estrogen or too little progesterone, or what's the balance there? Because that can cause a lot of different symptoms, like could cause hot flashes, could cause PMS, could cause fibroids from estrogen dominance.
Yeah. Okay. The testing is important because the hormones vary, and especially if they're still cycling, just doing a blood test doesn't give you the best information.
Yes, absolutely.
So now, someone once told me that the moment you start your period, you become perimenopausal. But we're not really perimenopausal at 12, but
you're one step closer, right?
Right. So how do you help women who think they're perimenopausal? I mean, what would be your approach?
Well,
what symptoms would they have? Yeah.
Well, perimenopausal usually from a hormone place would be if they're having irregular periods. Maybe they're having PMS. Maybe they're having hot flashes too, which is unfair because you get both. But then we look at stress level, because the adrenals are the underlying hormone that affects your sex hormones. So if you're depleted and you're stressed and you're overwhelmed and you're busy and you're tired and you're not sleeping, definitely we look at your adrenals, and then we use nutrition and supplements to build that up, and also your blood sugar, because if you're not eating the right nutrition for your body, you could be going on the blood sugar roller coaster all day. You could be tired and cranky, and that also affects your sex hormones too. So it can make everything worse with PMS and hot flashes.
Yeah, you keep saying stress, and it's such a big factor, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Women can become lose their period from stress. We know that athletes who are extreme athletes, young women, they frequently aren't getting enough food, and they're stressing their body out. And many times they will go through a period of amenorrhea where they don't have a cycle. So do you see many young women, or are more of your patients in the...
I would say most of them are later 30s and up. And I do have some endurance athletes, but that's, mostly I have kind of regular women, and, they're trying to be fit and in shape and, take care of their families and their jobs and their businesses. So when we talk about stress, it's like kind of this vague word. It's like we know what it means, but do you really know that it actually can mess up your hormones from prolonged? So it's like being in fight or flight all day, every day, if you have that chronic stress. And so this is a lifestyle piece that we work with.
Yeah, it's so important. Okay, let's see. So do you work with women with thyroid problems?
I do.
Such a big issue.
So women with thyroid. So when I see women in my hormone testing programs, many times they're on thyroid already. or they've been told that they don't have a thyroid problem. And I really find that thyroid problems are for women, are one of the biggest things that's underdiagnosed and undertreated. So like I see women, they're on thyroid, but their primary doctor will generally do one test.
Yeah.
The TSH. Yeah. And so I'll run 5 to 8 tests, and just, we're going to look at everything, because there's different ways you look at it. Test for if you have autoimmune Hashimoto's. And I've diagnosed Hashimoto's in women who were told by their doctors they were fine. And I've seen them under medicated. And so it's an important issue, because I, as a chiropractor, do not prescribe medication. So then I refer out. And so I could refer to somebody like you, because you work with thyroid issues. So I prefer to refer my patients to a natural medical doctor who can prescribe, because there's different kinds of thyroid medication, and not all of them. Like, one of my issues personally was I was put on Synthroid, and it didn't work for me because my cells don't convert T3 to T4, and or the T4 to T3, and I needed to be on the Armor instead.
The natural hormone replacement therapies have both T4 and T3. I do a full panel, and what I've discovered, I have young women who come in with fatigue and some of the symptoms of hypothyroidism. They seem to all have Hashimoto's, looking at the antibodies, and it's just rampant with the cases that I see. So can you give us a case of somebody that got better from, we do help people.
Yes.
Get better.
I think that's the most exciting part of what we do. We get to be a detective and find out the root cause, but then we get to give these natural solutions, which would encompass like nutrition, supplements, lifestyle, and see women get better. So, a good example is a woman who came to me a few months ago, and she had an extra 20 pounds. She was tired, she wasn't sleeping, and she was frustrated because she'd done everything. And what I did is I did full thyroid. She was on thyroid medication, full thyroid. So first of all, I find out she's under medicated. She was almost over 4.5, and she was on medication. So, and we want them under about 3 for TSH. So I sent her back to her doctor to get that going. But I found out she had insulin resistance and prediabetes. She had very high inflammation, and she had adrenal fatigue. So no wonder she's not losing weight, because her body she was just metabolically stuck. So what we did is, I found all this out, and I put her on a nutrition regimen, supplements, and got her thyroid upped. And she's been losing about 1 pound a week. And I think she's down to about, that was a few weeks ago, but she was down 8 pounds. And she's halfway to her goal, or almost halfway to her goal. And before, she also said she tried everything. And when I put her, we used, the nutrition that we worked on, dialed it in more, and it started working for her.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because we have to dig a little deeper. We have to, it's like instead of being laser focused, we really have to open up our vision so that we can see the other causes of the person's problem, especially when they're not getting better. It's always distressing to me if I've done everything I thought I should and they're not getting better. So that means I have to go back, look again, and be sure that we haven't missed something that could be causing a problem. And, taking a broad approach and doing appropriate testing is very important. So how do you help women who have no energy or low libido? Okay. I see a ton of men and women with low libido.
Well, of course, we're always looking at what age are they, where are they in their cycle, are they perimenopausal, are they menopausal? Now, if you're Perimenopausal, so you're probably in your 40s and you're still cycling, but you're having low libido and no energy. I'm always going to look at adrenals. So we want to look at adrenals and look at building up your adrenals, because the adrenals are the underlying, when you have low cortisol, so cortisol is an adrenal hormone. When your cortisol is really low, it'll start stealing from your sex hormones. So if you are, in your 40s and you're tired and have no libido, your sex hormones may be unbalanced because your adrenals could be depleted. So I always go into the bottom root cause, and then we build that up and we look at blood sugar and thyroid. And then I look at libido as a quality of life issue. And I do recommend bioidentical hormones. Of course, I do not prescribe those, but I work with doctors who do, and as well as you do. And I would send them to a doctor who can give them that. Now, I do meet a lot of resistance sometimes because women come to me because they don't want to take any hormones. Now, that can be because they're either have had breast cancer in their family, and we're not specifically talking estrogen, but they would mix them in a safe manner. But, if they've had breast cancer in the family, a lot of women are just like, no, I don't want to do any hormones. So there are supplements, and there are, that we can troubleshoot for, libido and of course energy, and energy usually comes into adrenals and blood sugar.
Yeah, and many times the foundation lifestyle issue is relationships also. So, I have to find out, are they in a good, healthy relationship with their partner, to be sure that that's not some of the issue.
That's true. Yes.
Okay. So why do you think functional medicine is such a important approach to helping people across the board?
Well, because it's that, to me, it's like that first line for getting to the root cause. Now, obviously, if you break your leg, have a car accident, an injury, or you're really having an emergency, Western medicine, that's what it's for. But women fall through the cracks of Western medicine when they go in there with fatigue and kind of, I gained 20 pounds, I'm tired, I'm not sleeping. Usually women will tell me that they are being told by their doctor they're either too young to get any testing or too old, or they might get a couple tests like a cholesterol and a TSH, and they're falling through the cracks with the chronic stuff like that. So, yeah. And that's why it's so important. I just don't want to see, I've been in natural health care for 35 years, and I don't put Band-Aids on things. My innate instinct is to go like, what's the root cause and how do we fix it from there? So, medications are a Band-Aid for many things, because you can fix blood pressure, cholesterol, overweight with, nutrition and exercise and supplements instead of taking medications.
I know. So many people come to see me and they say, the doctor said all my labs were normal, but I'm not normal,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Even the labs that are done, just doing a CBC and a metabolic panel doesn't really tell you a whole heck of a lot. It tells you something, but it's not the whole picture. And the thing I love about functional medicine is the relationship that you develop with the patient and spending quality time with them, and they know that you are hearing them.
Yes.
I'm a pediatrician by my former training, but I always believed the parents of the child. So if a patient tells me, XYZ, I believe them. I'm not going to try to talk them out of it or say it's all in your head or here's a prescription for an antidepressant. That just, I hear that story so many times. And then women are on antidepressants for years, right? And then trying to help them get off of it when you begin to solve their underlying problems is not always easy, because the mindset, mindset is so important.
Yes.
So what I want all the folks out there that are either watching live or are going to watch this recording later is that you have to make the commitment for your health. And then you find a good, wonderful medical partner to help you through that maze that sometimes feels almost impossible to get through. So anyway, now do we have any questions over here or comments? See, I don't see any right now, but Dr. Foley, how would people get in touch with you if they want to find out more about your practice?
Well, you can go to my website, which is Vibrant Healthy Woman. So it's WOMAN.com. And I have a couple things on there on the homepage. You can, I have a free guide for you on how women can have more energy. So you can sign up there, and you can also receive my weekly newsletter on women's health tips and hormone tips. And I also offer a free call. So if you want to talk to me about natural ways to help your hormones and health, you can go up to the top, and there's a thing up there for a free call.
Okay, and there is that website right there, and that will be in the comments section too. Is there anything else you'd like to say about women's health?
Well, I remember like probably decades ago, when this was not the issue that it is now, that now we are lucky that women's health is natural women's health is so much at the forefront, that women are wanting to get the help and know that there's this innate knowing that they want to do it naturally. So I'm just really grateful to be in the right place at the right time to be able to help women with my area of expertise. So,
well, that is fantastic, and I know that many of our people in this group are going to want to know more, and they know how to reach out to you. And I thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise with us. And so we look forward to the next time we meet. Maybe we can do this again from a different perspective. Okay.
Well, thank you, Dr. Beddinghouse. I really appreciate being on here with you. Thank you.
Okay. All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.